He saw her just past the sunrise, standing in his pit, small, barefoot, holding his shovel like it belonged to her. The dirt clung to her arms, under her nails, smeared across her cheeks. She didn't flinch when he walked up. "You lost?" he asked. She blinked. "Digging for Mama." He stopped. The wind pushed dust down into the hollow he'd been working since dawn. He glanced at the grave, only half dug. "You ain't supposed to be here," he said. She stared back. "She's in here somewhere." He reached for the shovel. "That ain't yours." She didn't let go. "I need it." "You don't need nothing from the dead ground. She's down there." "No one's down there yet. Ain't even finished the hole." The girl looked around, eyes twitching toward the tree line. "Then she's somewhere else." "You got a name?" She nodded. "Well?" She hesitated. "Mama calls me Wren." He crouched. "And where's Mama now?" "That's what I'm telling you." He squinted. "You live round here?" She pointed at the woods behind the cemetery. "Over there, past the creek." "There ain't no houses past the creek." "Not now." She dropped the shovel. I walked to the edge of the pit, peered in. "I thought she'd be here." "You can't be wandering out here alone." "I'm not." He looked. Nobody is behind her, no footprints except hers. "Listen, I gotta finish this before the service." Wren kept staring into the dirt. "Did you bury her already?" He hesitated. "No, girl, I never met your mama." "You bury folks?" "That's my job." "Then you buried her." "No, I didn't." "You bury everybody, right?" He didn't answer. She turned, walked toward his wheelbarrow, climbed in like it was hers. He sighed. "You can't stay here." She said nothing. He lit a cigarette with a shaking hand. Thought about calling the sheriff. Thought better. The sheriff would ask questions. He didn't have answers. "What's your last name?" he asked. Wren shrugged. "Who's your daddy?" "He doesn't like graves." He paused. "What?" She leaned back, stared at the clouds. "He said graves keep secrets. Said if I ever found one, dig it up. Look for Mama." His stomach clenched. "You say he's alive?" I said he doesn't like graves. "That ain't an answer." She didn't blink. He stubbed out the cigarette, grabbed the shovel from the ground, and got back to digging. Every few strikes, he looked up. She hadn't moved. "Are you hungry?" She shook her head. "Thirsty?" She yawned. "Just tired." "Did you sleep last night?" She tilted her head. "Have you ever dug up somebody by accident?" He stopped. She sat up. "Like you're digging for one person, but hitting another." "Why'd you ask that?" "'Cause I think you did." He stared at her, sweat dripping off his chin. She pointed at the pit. "That grave already had somebody in it." "No, it didn't." "Yes, it did." He dropped the shovel. I walked toward her slowly. "You want to tell me what's going on?" "I told you. I'm looking for Mama." "And I told you, you just don't remember." He froze. She blinked at him. "People forget. That's what graves do." He walked away, pulled the wheelbarrow upright. She slid out without a word. "Come on," he muttered. "You're going to town. Let the law deal with this." Wren followed without argument. But as they walked past the church fence, she stopped. "What?" She looked at a headstone, old, cracked, tilted sideways. "I've seen that name." "Where?" "In the creek." She was talking. "Who was?" "The lady under the water." He rubbed his eyes. "There ain't no lady under no creek." Wren crouched, traced the carved letters with her finger. "Some people don't stay quiet." He reached down, took her arm, not hard but firm. "We're leaving." She walked beside him in silence. When they reached the truck, he opened the passenger door. She climbed in, stared straight ahead. He buckled her in, shut the door. I walked around, got behind the wheel. "You don't smell like the other ones," she said. "What?" "The others. The ones you bury. You don't smell like them." He put the key in the ignition. "You smell like you're waiting." "For what?" "Her." He didn't ask who. He knew. They rode in silence past cattle fields and broken mailboxes. The radio was busted. All he heard was gravel and her breathing. At the gas station, he pulled in, went inside for a soda and a sandwich. When he came out, she was gone. He dropped the food, ran behind the pumps. "Wren." No answer. "Girl." He turned. She was standing by the payphone, one hand on the receiver. "I was calling her." "No one's on the other end of that line." "I know, but sometimes she hears anyway." He knelt, out of breath. "You can't run off like that." She looked up at him. "You were scared. I thought you vanished." I do that sometimes. He stared at her. I'm not lying, she said. He stood. Get in the truck. She obeyed. He tossed the sandwich in her lap. Eat. She did, chewing slowly. Swallowed like it hurt. Do you remember anything else? He asked. She wiped her mouth. She sang at night, said I got her eyes. What did she look like? Wren paused. Tired. He nodded without meaning to. When they got to the sheriff's office, he parked, left the engine running. You stay here. I won't run. He looked at her. She didn't blink. Inside, he found the desk empty, just a flickering lamp and a dust-covered typewriter. He walked to the back. The sheriff's door cracked open. He knocked. Sheriff? No. Answer. He stepped inside. Empty. On the desk sat a single file folder. He opened it. His own name stared back at him. A faded photo. Younger, cleaner, with a woman beside him, blonde, laughing. He touched the image. Then I froze. A child in the photo. Same eyes, same mouth. He grabbed the file, ran outside. The truck was empty. The door is wide open. He looked around the lot. No footprints, no sound, just wind. He called her name. Once, twice. Silence. Then faint from behind the church down the road. He heard metal hitting dirt. He ran, past the white fence, through the cemetery, down to the half-dug grave. There she was, holding the shovel, digging. I told you, she said without turning. His hands shook. She looked over her shoulder. She's almost here. The girl wouldn't let go of his hand the whole ride to town. Not once. Not when he shifted gears. Not when he slammed the brakes near the feed store. Not when he parked outside the station with the badge-shaped sign swinging crooked on the chain. She sat still, small fingers curled around him like she'd done it every day. Wren, he muttered, just say what you know. I always do. He stepped out. She followed. Inside, the air smelled like damp paper and coffee gone cold. Sheriff Dorman sat behind the desk, boots up, toothpick moving between his teeth like it was chewing him instead. Is she yours? The sheriff asked. No. Looks like yours. She ain't. The sheriff nodded slowly. Then why is she holding your hand? Found her out at the graves this morning. Dead? Number diggin'. The sheriff blinked. With what? My shovel. The girl sat down in the corner, knees tucked, eyes wide open. Does she say anything? The sheriff asked. Said she was looking for her mama. That's so. That's it. The sheriff stood, walked over to her, crouched. Name? Wren. Full name. Just Wren. You got a daddy? She shook her head. Don't get one. Everyone's got one. Nope. You live in town? She looked at the window. Here. He frowned. Where here? She pointed at the floor. Smart mouth, he muttered. I told you, she said quietly. I'm not lying. The gravedigger looked away. The sheriff sighed, stood up, scratched behind his ear. We got a list of missing kids. You'd know if we did, the gravedigger said. Is it yours or not? She's not. She says she ain't got a daddy. That ain't the same as saying I'm it. She followed you in like a damn barn cat. She's not mine. Then drop her off at the chapel. I ain't leaving her with that pastor. Would you rather keep her? I'd rather someone else did. The girl stood up. I can hear you. Neither man answered. Where's the school teacher? The sheriff asked. Maybe she knows. She left last spring, said the gravedigger. Hell. They sat in silence for a beat. The girl climbed up into the chair beside the gravedigger, crossed her legs like she was used to it. Any birth records? The sheriff muttered. No name, no daddy, no address, the gravedigger said. Good luck. The sheriff stared at the girl. Have you ever been here before? I've always been here. Don't remember seeing you. You weren't looking. You got that mouth from somewhere. She smiled. The sheriff walked to the file cabinet, pulled open drawers, and rustled pages. I don't need a file, she said. I just need Mama. The sheriff stopped flipping. He looked at the gravedigger. Bring her outside. Let the town see her. Maybe somebody knows. I ain't parading her. She showed up in your pit. It's your mess now. The gravedigger didn't argue. They walked the main road, slowly. Wren kept pace like a shadow. Folks looked. Nobody stopped. Nobody asked. Mrs. Harrell peeked out from the bakery screen. I froze. The old barber squinted, locked his shop door mid-trim. A woman with a baby crossed the street. The girl noticed. Why don't they talk to me? Because they don't know what to say. Are they scared? No. Then why don't they say anything? He didn't answer. A man sweeping his porch leaned on the broom. Is she yours? No. She looks like she knows you. She doesn't. Looks like she knows everybody. Wren stopped walking. I know you. The man frowned. I doubt that. You had a red dog. It drowned. He dropped the broom. You cried for it, she said. He stepped back inside, slammed the door. Come on, the gravedigger said, voice tight. They kept walking. Wren whispered, they all know me. They just forgot. Don't say things like that. But it's true. Still. At the chapel, the preacher stood outside with his arms crossed. Are you looking to confess or dump something off? He asked. The gravedigger shook his head. Don't get the space for strays, the preacher said. The town barely feeds on its own. She ain't hungry. You sure? She doesn't eat much. Does she speak in tongues? The gravedigger stared. The preacher smirked. They say she talks to the dirt. She's a kid. She's something. Wren stepped forward. Do you remember Mama? The preacher flinched. She came here once, Wren said. She said the floor was wrong. He blinked. What? She said they buried her under the wrong cross. The preacher looked at the gravedigger. He didn't speak. I'm not staying with him, Wren said, pointing at the preacher. I never offered, he replied. The gravedigger turned away. We're done here. Back in the truck, he didn't speak. She watched the road. Are you mad? No. You don't talk when you're mad. I'm not mad. You're scared. He gripped the wheel tighter. You think I'm trouble. I think you're confusing. That's fair. They passed the diner. Women in aprons stared from behind the glass. One whispered something. Another made the sign of the cross. I didn't do anything, Wren said. I know. Then why do they look like that? Folks get scared of what doesn't fit. Have you ever not fit? He didn't answer. You gonna take me back to the grave? Not yet. Then where? He thought for a long time, finally said, I don't know. She looked at her hands. Dirt still under her nails. I'm not dirty, she said. I didn't say you were. They think I am. They think lots of things. They think I belong to you. You don't. I could. He stared at the road. You don't want me to. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. They drove in silence past the rail yard, past the rusted water tower, past the old motel with the broken sign. Have you ever had kids? She asked. He nodded once. Where are they? He didn't answer. She leaned her head on the window. You don't ask where Mama went, she said. You don't answer straight. She's not all gone. What's that mean? She left pieces. Where? Here, there, in folks. That's not how people work. You bury pieces all the time. That's different. It's not. They reached the end of the road. Gravel turned to grass. He stopped the truck. She looked around. Why here? This was my sister's place. She sat up. She died a while back, he said. The place has been empty. Is Mama here? No. She got out, walked to the porch, touched the doorknob. It remembers her. She was never here. You're sure? He didn't answer. The door creaked open. Dust in the air, broken frames on the walls. The smell of mildew and lost time. Wren stepped inside like it belonged to her. He followed, uneasy. In the back room, she sat on the floor. Quiet. He stood in the doorway. Will you stay? She asked. He nodded. For a little while. She smiled. That night, he slept on the couch. She curled in the corner chair, blanket pulled to her chin. Good night, she said. He looked at her, saw the way her eyes stayed open in the dark. Good night. And for the first time in years, the house didn't feel empty. The cabin sat quiet, wrapped in trees, like it had been forgotten. Wren stepped in like she'd been there before, didn't ask a permission, didn't pause. She wandered, brushing her fingers along the dust-layered table, the chipped sink, the curtainless window. Her face never changed. He dropped his keys on the counter. Ain't much, but it's warm. She nodded, didn't sit. Are you hungry? She shook her head. Thirsty? No. You sure? Do you want me to be? He blinked. I can pretend. You don't have to. She walked to the back door. I opened it. I walked out. He followed, slow. The yard stretched out to the tree line. Dry grass, rusted shovels stuck in the dirt, and a stone-ringed well near the fence. She moved toward it like pulled by a string. "Careful," he said. "It's old." She knelt at the edge, peered in. "Wren." She didn't answer. "Stay away from that. It's not deep. You don't know that." She looked up. "I can hear her." He stopped. "Like breathing. Like she's asleep. No one's down there." "She is." "No, she ain't. She's waiting." He stepped forward. "I said stop." She leaned closer. "Back away from the well," he snapped. She stood. I looked at him. "You're scared of it too." "I'm not scared." "You should be." He turned. I walked back inside, left the door open. She came in minutes later. Quiet. Didn't mention the well again. That night, he cooked eggs. She didn't eat them. Just sat at the table, legs swinging. "Have you ever gone to school?" he asked. "No." "You read?" "A little." "You write?" "Enough." "What's that mean?" "Enough to remember." He poured coffee, drank standing up. I watched her from across the room. "Have you ever lived in a house before?" "Not really." "You sleep on the ground?" "Sometimes." "With who?" "People." "Where are they now?" "Gone." "Gone where?" She shrugged. He rubbed his face. "You ask a lot of questions," she said. "You don't give many answers." "That's fair." She looked at the window. "I like the dark here." "Why?" "It's clean." "You talk like a preacher." "No, I don't." "You talk strange." "So do you." He finished his coffee, sat on the worn couch. She stayed at the table. "What's your first memory?" he asked. She tilted her head. "Mud, under my fingernails." "That's it." She nodded. "And music." "What kind?" "Like a hum. Not a song. Just close to one." He turned off the lamp. "Let the dark settle in." "I think the house likes me," she said. "I don't like anybody." "It told me it knew you." "It's wood and nails. It doesn't speak." She lay down on the floor, curled up. "You don't get a bed?" she asked. "Just mine." "You're scared I'll take it?" "I ain't scared of you." She didn't say anything. He stared at the ceiling, listening to the wind press the trees. "Do you ever hum in your sleep?" she asked. "No." "I think you do." "You're not asleep." "Neither are you." She began to hum. Software circular. Slow. He sat up. "Where'd you hear that?" She didn't answer. "Wren." She kept humming. He stood. I walked over. "Stop that." She did. He stared down at her. "Who taught you that?" "I don't know." "You said you remember." "Some things." "Where did that song come from?" "Not a song." "What is it then?" She sat up. "It's what she sounded like when she rocked me." He felt his stomach twist. "You're lying." "I'm not." "No one remembers that far back." "I do." He stepped back. I looked at the walls, the floor. The photo above the mantel turned face down years ago. "Does your mama ever sing to you?" she asked. He didn't answer. "Was it the same?" He shook his head. "Sit back down." She laid back on the floor, closed her eyes. The hum returned, fainter now, just under breath. It scraped something loose in his chest. He whispered, "Stop." She did. The house fell silent. He stayed awake long after she slept, listened to the hum. It never came back, but the sound of the well never left. The knock came just after sunrise, slow, heavy, familiar. The gravedigger opened the door, coffee in hand. Sheriff Dorman stood on the porch, hat low, the holster buckled, son behind him. "You still got her?" he asked. "She's inside. Awful early to be sleeping in." "She's not." The sheriff looked past him into the house. "Is she back?" "Maybe. You know I gotta ask." "You just did." The sheriff stepped in without permission. The floor creaked. The air smelled like boiled eggs and burnt wood. Wren sat at the kitchen table, legs folded, eyes sharp. "Morning, darlin'," the sheriff said. "Is it? Don't feel like one, I guess." "Then why'd you come?" He chuckled. "Heard you were still here. Figured I'd stop by." "You didn't come for me." The sheriff looked at the gravedigger. "She's quick. Quicker than most." Wren stood. I walked to the back door, stared through the screen. "She went to the well again?" the sheriff asked. "Why?" "Just askin'." Number she's just here. Town's talking. They always are. Not like this. The gravedigger leaned against the counter. Then say it plain. She's not wanted. I noticed. The sheriff sighed. Folks are saying she brings things with her. Bad things. She brought herself. Yeah, but she didn't come empty. The gravedigger frowned. You hear yourself? She showed up, and 2 days later, Harold's boy cracked his head open. The preacher's dog vanished. The barn roof collapsed. That's a coincidence. Or something else. Like what? The sheriff hesitated. Some think she's cursed. Wren turned. I'm not. No one said you were, sweetheart. Yes, you did. The sheriff looked away. The gravedigger spoke low. Are you here to make me give her up? I'm here to remind you this land's spoken for. By who? You know who. The governor's family don't own my land. They own everything around it. That ain't the same. It's close enough. Wren walked toward them, stopped in the middle of the room. I didn't ask to be here, she said. No one's blaming you, the sheriff replied. You are. We're worried. You're afraid. He didn't answer. She turned to the gravedigger. He doesn't like graves. The room stilled. The sheriff shifted. What's that mean? Wren looked at him. He's got one coming. The sheriff's hand touched his belt. Are you threatening me? He asked. No. Sure sounds like it. She doesn't mean it, the gravedigger said. I meant it, Wren replied. The sheriff stepped closer. Girl. The gravedigger moved between them. She speaks strange, that's all. The sheriff stared at the child. That's more than strange. She didn't say she'd dig it. She said I'd have one. Wren sat back down. Calm. Soon. The sheriff backed away, jaw tight. You've always been drawn to lost causes, he muttered. She's not lost. She ain't yours either. She's here. Doesn't mean she stays. She ain't leaving. The sheriff opened the door. I'm telling you, he said. Keep her, and things go bad. Things are already bad. This makes them worse. He stepped out, turned back. Watch her around the well. The door shut behind him. The gravedigger locked it, turned to Wren. You can't say things like that. I didn't lie. You scared him. He should be. That helps nothing. You think I'm wrong? He didn't answer. She stood again. He's not the first. The first thing. The first to bury and forget. His breath caught. You know something. She nodded. Say it. You're not ready. He grabbed his coat. I'm going out. Where? Just out. She didn't stop him. The well sat still in the backyard. The wind tugged the trees. He stared down into the dark, listened. Nothing. He turned away. Behind him the rope creaked. He spun. Wren stood at the window. You think she's down there, she said. He didn't reply. You hear her too. He went back inside, poured more coffee, hands shaking. She didn't speak again that morning, but he heard the hum. Faint. Barely there, rising from below. She asked to go back to the graveyard before breakfast. You sure? He asked. Wren nodded. They're waiting. For what? To be counted. He didn't like the way she said it, but he grabbed the keys anyway. They rode in silence. Dust kicked behind the truck. Her fingers tapped the seat like she was keeping time with something he couldn't hear. He parked outside the church gate. She opened the door before the engine stopped. Slow down, he called. She was already moving through the grass, straight toward the far side of the cemetery, not toward the headstones, toward the blank markers. Uncut slate, no names, just rocks stuck in earth. She crouched at one. Don't touch, he warned. I have to. She laid a flat stone at its base. What's that for? She was called Ruth, died cold. You don't know that. She told me. He stared. You can't know. I do. She moved to the next, picked a pebble from the dirt. Daniel, he fell. They left him there. Wren, don't say it like that. Like what? Like I'm lying. He didn't respond. She walked in a line, stone after stone, whispering names like prayers. You see ghosts now? No. Then how? They whisper. From the dirt? She nodded. He swallowed. You don't hear whispers. You forgot how. She placed another stone. The preacher's voice cut through the quiet. That's far enough, girl. They both turned. He stood at the fence, arms crossed, eyes sharp. You have no business touching them. They're already touched, she said. Are you mocking Scripture? No. Then why are you playing God? I'm not. I'm remembering. He stepped forward. She's wrong, he told the gravedigger. Something's off in her. She's a child. She ain't acting like one. She's not hurting anything. She's digging. She's placing stones. She doesn't belong here. She's not yours to judge. The preacher narrowed his eyes. Are you starting to believe her? I'm trying to understand her. She's dangerous. She's 10. The preacher pointed. Look around. Crows don't come here anymore. Grass won't grow near where she walks. Something's changing. Wren looked at the preacher. You're scared. He stepped back. I'm faithful. You buried lies. The preacher froze. You prayed over people who weren't there, she said. You knew they weren't. He looked at the gravedigger. You see, she speaks poison. She speaks the truth. Then you're blind. She's naming the dead. She's inviting them back. The wind shifted. The bell in the church tower rang once. No one had pulled the rope. The preacher turned. You let her stay. You'll join them. He walked off fast. Wren knelt again, pressed her palm to the soil. She's near, she whispered. The gravedigger crouched beside her. Who? My mother. Here? Close. He looked at the graves. You really hear them? They don't scream. They whisper. What do they say? Nothing you don't already know. He felt his stomach twist. Why are you telling me? Because you remember too. He shook his head. You forgot on purpose. I buried it. Exactly. She placed one last stone. Who was that? Don't know. You didn't hear it. She wasn't ready. They walked back to the truck. You believe me now? She asked. I don't know what I believe. That's better than nothing. He started the engine. Behind them, the field stayed quiet. But something had shifted. He felt it. The bottle sat half empty beside his boot. He stared out of the window. Smoke drifted up from the ashtray. The hum from the well hadn't come back. Not yet, but the silence was worse. Wren moved through the house like the wind. Quiet, watching, waiting. You hungry? He muttered. No. You say that a lot. I mean it. He sipped, winced. It's not good for me. Then stop. I won't. She sat across from him. Have you ever written anything? Used to. Why'd you stop? No one wrote back. She looked past him, toward the hallway. You have a family? He didn't answer. Anybody? He tapped the bottle. I had a sister. What happened? She left. Where? He shrugged. Nowhere. You can't leave to go anywhere. She did. Wren stood. I walked toward the back room. Don't, he said. I'm not touching anything. He stayed seated. She opened the door. Let it swing. The room smelled like dust and old paper, a broken lamp, a bed without a mattress, a dresser with one drawer hanging open. She moved to it, pulled slowly. Stop that, he said again, but she didn't. She reached inside, pulled out a bundle wrapped in cloth, unfolded it. He stood. Put that down. She held a yellowed envelope. It's hers, he said. Your sister. He nodded. Wren turned it over. You kept it. Not for you. She opened the letter. Wren. She read silently, lips barely moving. What's it say? He asked. She looked up. It's to you. I know. She was scared. I remember. She thought someone was watching her. She said a lot. She said she was pregnant. He froze. She held the page tighter. Give me that, he said. Was she my mama? He didn't speak. Say it. He walked over, snatched the letter from her hand, folded it once, shoved it deep into his pocket. You didn't answer. Because it doesn't matter. It does. Not now. You knew. I wasn't sure. You buried her too. No. You buried the letter. That's not the same. Yes, it is. She stepped back. You knew she had a baby. I didn't know it was you. But you kept the letter. I didn't read it again. Not in years. But it was there. He sat back down. She left one night. No note. No goodbye. I thought she ran. She didn't. I know that now. She was scared. He nodded. She didn't run. She got taken. He looked up. She tried to leave, but someone stopped her. Who? I don't know. You sure? She nodded. but I know where she ended up. He stared. Wren pointed outside. She's near the well. No. Yes. She's not. She hums at night. That's not her. She remembered you. That's not. She sang the same song. He poured another drink. Hand shook. You don't want to believe it, she said. I can't. You already do. He stared at the floor. Wren walked to the door. If she was my mama, that means you're... Stop. She waited. He looked up. I buried strangers for a living. I didn't think one of them was mine. She's not a stranger. Neither are you. She stepped outside. The door creaked behind her. He sat alone with the letter in his pocket, not reading it, just feeling its weight. The storm came without warning. No thunder, no building, just wind and rain hitting the roof like nails. The gravedigger lit a lantern. Power had gone first. Wren stood at the window, watching the trees bend. She's moving, Wren said. Who? The one down there. He looked at her. You mean well? She nodded. It's just rain. She doesn't like being covered. She's dead. She's not done. He didn't argue. The wind cracked a branch outside. The back door banged against its frame. She's getting louder, Wren whispered. You hear her now? Yes. What's she saying? Your name. The gravedigger stood. We're staying inside. She's not. The floor shook, just a little, like something shifting underneath. He grabbed the rifle from the wall. Wren didn't move. Have you ever shot one? She asked. Too many. This won't help. Doesn't mean I won't try. She stepped back from the window. She's not angry. Could have fooled me. She's waiting. For what? You. The storm didn't pass. It circled, hung over the house like a weight. Trees groaned. Glass rattled in its frame. You want to tell me what's going on? He asked. I already did. Tell me again. She was buried wrong. Who? Mama. You said she was near the well. She's in it. He stopped. That's not possible. You didn't dig that hole. I've lived here 20 years. Not long enough. I would have known. No, you wouldn't. He stared at her. You're sure? I remember. You remember being buried? I remember the dark. He sat down. I'm losing my mind. No, she said. You're remembering it. The rain slowed. Just for a second, a knock came from the back door. Once, twice. He stood. Hold the rifle low. The knock came again. He opened it. Nothing there, just the well. The rope swayed. He stepped outside. Mud sucked at his boots. Wren followed. You shouldn't be out here, he said. You shouldn't be alone. The stones around the well glistened, mossy, cracked. The rope dipped deep, too deep, deeper than he remembered. She's down there, Wren said. He looked at her. You ready to see? I've already seen. He pulled the rope. It resisted, like something heavy pulled back. He braced his foot, pulled again. It moved. Stop, Wren said. What? She doesn't want you to bring her up. Then what does she want? To be seen. He dropped the rope. She's not like the others, Wren said. She's not. She remembers every hand that touched her. He stepped back. The ground trembled again. She's not angry? He asked. Not yet. The wind rose, slammed the barn door open in the distance. The woods creaked. He dropped to his knees beside the well. Say something, he muttered. Nothing answered. Wren crouched beside him, pressed her palm to the stones. She's waiting for the truth. What truth? Yours. I didn't bury her. Number, but you let it happen. He looked at her. I was a boy. You're a man now. The rope snapped. It fell into the well with a sound like breath being drawn in. She's listening, Wren whispered. Inside, the lantern flickered out. They went in, lit candles, sat at the table. You think she'll stay quiet now? He asked. She never was. I mean tonight. She'll come when she's ready. The wind hit hard. Something scraped the outside wall. Nails, fingers, roots. He poured a drink, hands trembling. You gonna tell me who put her there? He asked. You already know. He closed his eyes. The sheriff. Yes. He was sweet on her. He followed her. She tried to leave. She almost made it. He said she left town. She didn't. He gripped the table. I should have asked more, he said. You weren't ready. And now, you are. What does she want from me? A grave? He looked up. A real one, Wren said. He stood. pulled on his coat, grabbed the second shovel. "You're coming?" "I always do." They walked into the night. The storm had passed. The air was heavy, still. The well waited. He began to dig beside it. The ground resisted. Wet, dense. But he kept going. Wren stood nearby, silent. "She'll know," she said. "If you lie." "I'm not." He struck something hard, metal. He scraped the dirt away. More metal, rounded, rusted, a lid. He cleared around it, a ring handle. "You ready?" she asked. "No." He pulled. It groaned, popped, inside, cloth, bones, a lock of hair tied with blue thread. He dropped to his knees. "It's her," Wren said. "I know." She waited. "I let her down." "She forgave you." He stared into the pit. "I can't carry her." "She's already with you." He looked at Wren. "You sure?" She nodded. He reburied the bones, gentle, slow, built the mound, carved her name into wood. "Will they leave us alone now?" he asked. "No." "Why not?" "She's not the only one." He stared. "There's more," Wren said. "How many?" She didn't answer. "You said you came for your mama." "I did." "That's all?" She looked at the dirt. It was the start. He sat beside her. "You gonna tell me everything?" "I'll try." He leaned against the well. "Are you staying?" he asked. "Yes." "You mine?" "I think I always was." He looked up at the stars. The hum had stopped. The storm hit just after sundown. No warning, no flicker, just wind like something tearing the sky from the inside. The first window cracked before he reached it. Glass hit the floor in pieces. Rain came sideways through the gap, fast and cold. Wren stood at the door in her nightgown, barefoot. "She's coming up," she said. He looked at her. "Who?" "You know." The gravedigger pulled the glass away, covering the gap with wood. The board moaned. Water rushed across the porch, dripping through old cracks in the roof. The well out back groaned. "She's calling," Wren whispered. "You're not going out there." "She already knows I'm coming." He dropped the hammer. "No." "She's awake now." "You said she was dead." "I said she was buried." Wren stepped outside. He grabbed his coat, swore under his breath, took the rifle down from the nail, and followed her into the storm. The wind howled through the trees. Lightning cracked the sky in half. Wren walked straight toward the well like she'd been sleepwalking her whole life. Her hair stuck to her face. Her hands were open, palms up. "She's in the rope," Wren said. "She's pulling." He reached her, grabbed her shoulder. "Come back inside." Wren didn't move. "She's under the stones." The wind shifted. The stones around the well shuddered. Water from the sky hit the stone lid like fists. "I'm not letting you fall in," he said. "I'm not falling," she said. "She's rising." The rope swung, then snapped. It fell into the well with a soft splash. The gravedigger reached to pull her back. Then the ground split. The crack started under the well's base and ran 6 feet wide. Dirt hissed. Mud rose from below. A section of stone collapsed inward. "She's coming up," Wren said calmly. Lightning struck the field. He pulled her backward just as a section of the well gave way completely. From deep inside came a groan that didn't belong to the storm. He crouched, pressed his ear to the open earth. There was crying, faint, but real. A woman's cry. He flinched. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Wren nodded. "She's scared." "You said she was angry." "She's both." He stood. "Back inside. Now." "No," Wren said. "She wants to be seen. We'll see her in the morning." "We won't make it till morning." The front gate creaked. A beam of light swept through the trees. A truck door slammed. The sheriff's voice cut through the thunder. "Step away from the girl." The gravedigger turned. Sheriff Dorman stood at the fence, soaked. The hat pulled low, gun raised. "Put her down," he shouted. "She's not a weapon. She is now. She's a child. She's a mistake. She's family." The sheriff stepped closer. "She doesn't belong to you." "She does." The gun didn't waver. "You don't know what she's done," Dorman said. "I know what you did," the gravedigger said. "She's bringing back things that should have stayed buried." "You mean your past?" The sheriff stopped just short of the well. Rain ran down the barrel of the gun. "You think I don't remember?" the gravedigger asked. "I think you buried it the same as I did." "I didn't bury her. She was going to ruin everything." "She was my sister. She told me the baby wasn't mine. You killed her for that." "She laughed in my face. You didn't even give her a grave." She wasn't worth one. You left her in the well. The sheriff shook his head. I was young. You were a coward. Wren stepped between them. She remembers, she said. Get out of the way, girl. She hears you. I said move. She said your name when you shoved her in. You weren't even born. She was crying. Shut your mouth. She said she was cold. The sheriff raised the gun. The gravedigger lunged. The shot cracked into the dirt. The rifle fell. The sheriff staggered back, hit the mud, hard. You done? The gravedigger asked. The sheriff's hands shook. I didn't mean to. You did. Wren stepped to the edge of the broken well. She forgave you, she said. She shouldn't. She remembers the baby. The sheriff looked at her. That baby wasn't mine. She never said it was. She told me it wasn't. She was protecting you. The sheriff shook his head, water pouring down his face. I didn't mean to. Kill her, he whispered. Wren's voice turned cold. You meant to bury her. The ground trembled again. The broken well widened. The earth gave up something. A box surfaced, waterlogged, bent, heavy. The gravedigger dropped to his knees, cleared away the mud. He pulled at the wood until it split. Inside, bones, cloth, and a small blue ribbon. She's here, he said. Wren stepped beside him. She's ready. The gravedigger closed his eyes. I hear her. She's humming. The sheriff stood silent. Wren turned. She wants a name. The gravedigger nodded. She'll have one. He carried the box through the yard. Rain still fell, but it's softer now. Wren followed with a shovel. They buried her beneath the crooked willow tree behind the house. The sheriff stood at the edge, watching, saying nothing. They marked it with a flat stone. Wren drew a line across it with her finger. What now? The sheriff asked. You go, Wren said. And if I don't, you'll hear her too. He left. The gravedigger sat beside the grave. Wren rested her head against his arm. She's home now, he said. She always was. He looked down at her. You knew all along. I knew enough. The wind died. For the first time in years, the air was still. The hum faded with the storm. Wren was already dressed when he stepped into the kitchen. Her coat was buttoned. Her hands were clenched at her sides. You slept? He asked. No. He poured a cup of black coffee. She didn't take her eyes off the door. It's time, she said. He nodded. They didn't talk on the drive to the cemetery. The truck rattled against the cold ground. The trees on the ridge stood like witnesses. He kept the shovel in the back seat. It had dried mud on it from years past and last night both. At the cemetery gate, she jumped out before the truck stopped. He followed. Here, she said. The same spot, where he found her holding his shovel the first morning, where nothing ever grew, where no names ever got carved. You're sure? She told me again. He stepped forward. Dirt was packed, but not hard. The ground had shifted in the storm. A few stones had rolled out of place. He placed the blade and pressed his foot down. The sound of metal against earth was the only thing between them for the first few minutes. Then she spoke. She was brought here late, wrapped in a jacket with silver buttons. Governor's crest. Wren nodded. His son. He stopped digging. I looked at her. Why here? She fought. They didn't like that. She was a maid. She was pregnant. He swore quietly. Went back to work. The dirt came up easier now. 10 inches down, the color changed. Damp and darker. 12 inches in, the smell shifted. Then the wind picked up behind them, and someone spoke. You stop right there. The sheriff stood by the fence, gun holstered but visible. His jaw was tight, hat soaked with sweat. You lost your damn mind, he said. No, the gravedigger answered. She's manipulating you. She's telling the truth. You have no right. I got every right. She's making this up. She named the crest. The sheriff looked at Wren. You don't even know what you're digging. I do, she said. You think you're going to unearth some kind of justice? You think people care what's buried under your feet? I care. The sheriff stepped forward. Wren didn't flinch. She was 16, she said. You don't know that. She said no. That's what killed her. The gravedigger kept digging. The sheriff's boots squelched in the mud as he stepped closer. You're going to regret this. I already regret a lot. You dig that far, and they'll come after you. Let 'em. You forget who owns this land? No one owns the dead. The gravedigger stopped. He wiped his brow, used his hand to clear the loose dirt. There it was, clothes, torn, stained, but underneath it, something brighter, faded blue, and a shimmer of silver along a seam. He pulled gently. A crest, sewn onto what looked like a coat. "Governor's family," he said. The sheriff froze. Wren crouched beside the hole. "She told me they laughed when she screamed." The gravedigger brushed back more soil. White beneath, bone, curled inward. "She was small," he whispered. "She didn't matter to them," Wren said. The sheriff took a step back. "I didn't do this," he said. "You didn't stop it either. They told me she was trouble. She was scared. They said she lied. They always do." The gravedigger stood. "She deserves a grave." "She had one," the sheriff muttered. "She had a hole." "Same thing." "No. Won't change anything now." "Change me." The sheriff looked down. "I was told to stay quiet," he said. "I did." "That's not quiet. That's complicated. You want a list? You want names? I want you to say it." He didn't. Wren stood between them. "She remembers all of them." "She can't." "She does. You were never supposed to find her." "I did." He looked at the bones. "They'll come for me." "They should." He dropped to his knees. "I'm tired." "Then tell the truth," Wren said. "I saw her brought here, crying, begging, said she didn't do anything, said she just worked in the house, that she didn't know why she was bleeding." The gravedigger felt like the ground had dropped under him. "They said it was a mistake, that she just got too close, that she couldn't be trusted." "She was pregnant," Wren said again. The sheriff nodded. "They handed me the coat, told me to walk away. I didn't bury her, but I knew she never left." "You looked the other way." "I was told to." "You obeyed." "I survived." "She didn't." The gravedigger lifted the small body from the earth, cradled her like something fragile and heavy. "Will you help me?" he asked Wren. She nodded. Together they carried her to the edge of the cemetery, the old part, where no fences stood, where the grass still grew wild. He dug again. Wren stood beside him, holding the crest in both hands. "You want to keep it?" she asked. "No." She dropped it in with the bones. They filled the grave together. The sheriff stayed back, didn't speak, didn't leave. When the dirt was flat again, Wren placed a rock on top. "She's named," she said. "What was it?" the gravedigger asked. She paused, then whispered, "I think it was Alma." He didn't ask how she knew. They walked past the sheriff. He didn't move, didn't look up. "Will there be more?" the gravedigger asked. Wren looked down the hill toward the trees. "There always are." They started whispering before sunrise. Not in church, not at the store. At home, behind curtains, on porches with lights turned off. The girl wrapped in the governor's coat was real. No name on her grave, but everyone knew who she was. The sheriff had walked away. The preacher hadn't returned. And the gravedigger's field had stopped growing grass. Now they watched the house by the well. From their trucks. From the road. Like something might walk out of it and speak what no one wanted to hear. Inside, the gravedigger was boiling coffee he wouldn't drink. His hands trembled, just enough to spill when he poured. Wren stood barefoot near the door. The floor creaked under her weight, but she didn't move. "She's buried now," he said. Wren didn't respond. "You think they'll believe it?" "They don't have to. They'll deny it anyway. They already did." She walked to the window. "I watched the trees sway like they were listening." "The ground's not done," she said. He looked at her. "There's more. There's always more." He leaned on the counter. "I don't know if I can keep going." "You don't have to dig them all." "Then who will?" She didn't answer. The phone rang. First time all week. He stared at it. Wren didn't move. He picked up slowly. "Yeah." A voice. A man's. Low and unsure. "I think she was mine. I think I knew her. I think I knew." He didn't respond. The line went dead. He lowered the receiver. "They're remembering," Wren said. "They're scared. They should be." He stepped outside. The wind was dry. The sky was thick with the kind of clouds that didn't rain. Not yet. Just watched. The sheriff's badge still sat on the porch rail. Tarnished. Wren joined him. "She's quiet now," she said. "She should be." "No," Wren said. "She was buried wrong. Her voice got stuck." "You hear her still?" "Number not her. The others." He sat on the step. "I wish I'd met her." "You did." "I mean before." "She remembers you." "I was too young." "You weren't too late." They stayed there a long while, not talking, not moving, just watching the trees. By noon, the preacher's car drove past but didn't stop. By 2, someone left a basket of bread on the steps. No note. By sunset, the governor's gate stayed shut. The wind picked up. The hum came back, low, like a song trying to come through the dirt. The gravedigger stepped back inside, pulled the old letter from the drawer, read it again. Wren sat by the fire. "Want me to read it aloud?" he asked. She shook her head. "You know it now." He folded it, set it aside. "You think she knew what would happen?" he asked. "She knew it wouldn't stay buried." "Did she know about you?" "She hoped." He stared into the fire. "You ever wish you never came?" "No." "Even with what you saw?" "Yes." "Even with what you are?" She looked at him. "What am I?" He didn't answer. "You think I'm a ghost," she said. "No." "A memory?" "No." "Something made from dirt and pain?" "No." "Then what?" "You're mine." Wren looked away. "That's not enough," she said. "It is for me." She stood. I walked to the well. He followed. The rope hung still. The bucket was gone. "She's not here," Wren said. "She's at peace?" "She left something behind." He frowned. "What?" Wren placed her hand on the stone edge. "Me." The gravedigger's breath caught. "She was never coming back." Wren said, "Just passing it on." "You're not just her." "No." "You're not just a voice." "No." "Then who are you?" Wren looked at him. "The last song." He didn't understand. She stepped closer. "She gave me her memory," Wren said. "Her fear. Her voice. You carried it." "I was supposed to." "For how long?" "Until it was heard." "And now?" "I don't know." He sat on the edge of the porch that night while she hummed inside. Same song, over and over. The one his mother used to sing when storms got close. The one that wrapped around your bones like warm cloth. The one that stayed with you when everything else was gone. He didn't cry. He listened. By morning, the fire had gone out. She sat in front of it, the same place as always. "You sleep?" he asked. "No." "You want breakfast?" "No." "You want to go outside?" "No." He knelt beside her. "You hurting?" "No." He touched her hand. Cold. She didn't flinch. "I think it's time," she whispered. "No." "You knew it would end." "Not like this." "You knew." "I thought we had more." "We did." "I should have said more." "You said enough." He pulled her into his arms. She didn't resist. "I don't know how to let go." "You already are." She looked up at him. "Will you remember me?" He nodded. "Every day." "Even when the town forgets?" "They won't." "They will." He gripped her tighter. "Not while I'm breathing." She smiled, then closed her eyes. He waited. The hum grew louder. Then it was quiet. Then gone. He didn't let go. Not right away. When he did, she was already fading. Light, nobody, memory, not skin. He stood slowly. The room was empty. He walked to the porch, picked up the badge, set it on the table, picked up the letter, burned it in the sink, picked up the shovel, hold it like something alive. The sun was rising. The dirt was still soft. And the song, still there, in his head, in the trees, in the wind. She'd left it for him, so he could keep digging. Not graves, but the truth.